over the years, over your career, you've already spent a great deal of time at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, except now you're living there and you're president. It's been 4 weeks. What's it like? How's it different?
I get up in the morning and look at Jill and say, where the hell are we? No, it's, look, it's, I've only been president 4 weeks. And sometimes, because things are moving so fast, not because of burden, it feels like 4 years. It's not because of the burden, it's because there's so much happening that you're constantly focusing on one problem or opportunity, one right ad seriatim. But what happens is that it's what I didn't realize. I had been in the Oval Office 100 times as vice president, or more than that, every morning for the initial meetings, but I had never been up in the residence. And one of the things that, I don't know about you all, but I was raised in a way that you didn't look for anybody to wait on you. And it's where I find myself extremely self-conscious. They're wonderful people, work at the White House. But someone, standing there and, making sure hands me my suit coat or...
You'd never been in the residence of the White House?
I only been upstairs in the yellow room, the Oval upstairs.
I don't know. I've never been there either. But
no, look, the people down there are wonderful, and I find that like my dad. You've heard me say this before. My dad used to say, everybody's entitled to be treated with respect. And it's interesting how decent and incredible these folks are.
Is it different than you expected it to be in some way?
I don't know what I ever expected it to be. It is different in that, get in trouble here. I said when I was running, I wanted to be president not to live in the White House, but to be able to make the decisions about the future of the country. And so living in the White House, as you've heard other presidents who have been extremely flattered to live there, it's a little like a gilded cage in terms of being able to walk outside and do things. The vice president's residence was totally different. You're on 80 acres, overlooking the rest of the city, and you can walk out. There's a swimming pool. You can walk off a porch in the summer and jump in a pool and go into work. You can ride a bicycle around and never leave the property and work out. But the White House is very different. And I feel a sense of, I must tell you, a sense of history about it. John Meacham, who you know, and several other presidential historians helped me I asked my brother, who's good at this, to set up the Oval Office for me, because it all happens within 2 hours, literally. They move everything out, move something, and it was interesting to hear these historians talk about what other presidents have gone through and the moments, and who were the people who stepped up to the ball and who's the people who didn't. And what you realize is the most consequential thing for me is, although I've known this watching 7 presidents who I got to know fairly well, is I always in the past looked at the presidency in the terms of Abraham Lincoln and Franklin Roosevelt and George Washington and how could they're superhuman. But I had to remind myself that they're really fine men that I knew well the last 7 presidents. And at least they're people who I knew well enough to know that I could play on the same team with. So it took away the sense of, this is my God. I'm not Abraham Lincoln. I'm not Franklin Roosevelt. How do I deal with these problems?
Have you picked up the phone and called any former president yet?
Yes, I have.
Do you want to say who?
No, I don't. They're private conversations. But by the way, all of them have, with one exception, picked up the phone and called me as well.
I know you don't want to talk about them, but
No, but look, it's the greatest honor I think an American can be given from my perspective. And I literally pray that I have the capacity to do for the country what you all deserve need be done. But one thing I learned after 8 years with Barack is no matter how consequential the decision, I got to be the last person in the room with him literally on every decision. I could make a recommendation, but I walked out of the room and it was all him, man. Nobody else. The buck stops there. And that's when you pray for making sure you're looking at the impact on the country and a little bit of good luck at the judgment you're making.